Hi, my name is Amanda. I am from the Department of Communications of Yourway Education, and we're here today with Simon. He is coming from one of the schools in New York City. So before he can give us a presentation of the school, I will just give a brief presentation of Yourway. So we are a consultancy for exchange programs. We place students from all of these countries. We are family-based, so we know all of our students and families, and we do take the best care of our students. We offer premium high schools with dorms, and we are specialized in high schools. And then this is me. I am originally from Brazil, but I moved to Washington, D.C. at 13, then to Seattle at 16, and now Lisbon, where I go to college. So I'm very passionate about going to other countries and meeting other cultures and people from different places. So I'm very happy to be here. I believe that traveling and moving to a different place, especially in your adolescent years, is the most rewarding experience. So now, Simon, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Simon Kirchner, and I'm the European point of contact for Léman Manhattan Preparatory School. I live in Milan, in Italy, but the school is in New York City. In fact, we are the only boarding school in New York. So I'm here today to tell you a little bit about boarding in New York City and how that works, and the wonderful opportunity as Léman Manhattan offers to young students. Amanda may have some questions for me, but I also have a presentation which I'm ready to start now. Okay. Here we go. So, Léman Manhattan is very much not a usual boarding program. We are located in the middle of downtown Manhattan. If you can see my mouse, I'm not sure if you can on this presentation. Amanda, can you see the mouse here?
No, I cannot.
I see. Well, the building just on the corner of the park that you're looking at, you see the park jutting towards north, that's our high school. Léman has 800 students, kindergarten through grade 12. So we're primarily a day school. 90% of our students are in day, and 10% of our students come to New York City from all over the world, from Beijing to Buenos Aires, to study and to live with us in a residential life program. Our dorms are 450 meters away from the high school, so about a 12-minute walk. Again, I'd show it to you, but here's a better picture of where we are all situated. So the upper school campus and the student residences, as you can see, it's about 450 minutes away from each other. Students live at 37 Wall Street, about 70 meters away from the New York Stock Exchange. The slide previous is very much the calling card of the school. We are located in a dynamic, cosmopolitan New York City. We're a well-funded and well-connected school, and we're constantly trying to flex our muscle to bring in the opportunities to be in front of the enormous cultural and professional capital that exists in New York City. All of that comes into our classrooms on a daily basis, and we've built our school on that. I'll give you some examples of the way we cooperate with some of the great institutions in New York a little bit later. The breakdown of the school is that we are about 70 boarding students currently, about 850 students total population, and over 70 nationalities represented in the day school itself. I think that's a very important, very kind of cogent characteristic of Léman. We are, but stretching it, one of the most international schools in the United States. We have a community of families that lives and works in New York City, and that is itself very international, unlike many, many other boarding schools. So I think the first consideration a parent will have about integration of children into a new country, Amanda, as you know, and a new academic system, should involve that, how easily the institution will be able to accommodate and how organically they'll be able to integrate the students. Here with us, it's not just 400 kids in a forest somewhere with a wonderful facility and teachers. We are a wonderful facility, faculty, plus a community of families that is itself very international and really understands the inevitable challenges that come up when young children, teenagers, come to a new country and a new school. Léman is a rigorous academic program, so we send more than 80% of our students to top 50 US universities every year. Last year, we sent children to Harvard, to Cornell, to Duke, and UCLA. So notwithstanding the interruptions of the pandemic, we continue to graduate kids into very, very good universities, both in the US and Europe, where a small minority of our children comes back to for university. Léman these are some of the colleges and universities where we send children to in the past.
Wow. A lot of top schools.
A lot of top schools. Léman is an IB program. I'm sure that IB is something that most of our audience will recognize. It's a curriculum developed by an organization which is in Switzerland. The curriculum is fixed across the world. Every single IB diploma school will follow this these guidelines. We'll have these 6 groups of subjects that the students will study for 2 years. So 11th and 12th grade, students will be assessed every semester for their New York State diploma, and then at the end of 12th grade, they will be assessed for their IB diploma, which at this point has become a sort of a gold standard in advanced placement high school education. Both Harvard and Stanford deans of admissions have recently come out and said that they prefer to see applicants who have an IB diploma, and that's really something that allows us to another facet of our education at Léman, allows us to give our students an extra edge when applying to top schools. Our IB program is distinguished by, again, our location, in the sense that we are fortunate enough to be able to attract and retain faculty that could be teaching at university level elsewhere. More than 80% of Léman faculty hold advanced degrees. The people who teach in the arts and sciences, and specifically in the performing arts, film, theater, and visual arts programs, are part of the New York City artistic community. Again, our location speaks for itself. So students who come to our IB program from somewhere else really get an understanding of the way that the business of the arts happens in New York City today. And to that end, we graduate kids into the top art schools like St. Martin in London, SCAD, and RISD in the US. These are some of our Ivy League matriculations over the last several years. Pretty much all of them here are represented. Cornell University, my alma mater, right there. Another very interesting opportunity for Léman students is the proximity to the world of work that exists on the island of Manhattan. As part of our college prep program, we start meeting with students individually on a monthly basis in the 2nd semester of 9th grade. We talk to them about their PSATs and SATs and visiting universities and all the things that one does before applying to university in the United States, as well as what they will be doing in the summers in their middle years of high school. So between 10th and 11th and 11th and 12th grade. Here, center top, are some of the flashier companies that have granted internship opportunities during the summer to our high school students. But there are quite literally hundreds of others, from relatively unknown theater management companies to famous law firms, advertising companies, biomedical research. All the huge spectrum of work which exists in New York City is available to us. Now, we don't guarantee placement. Some of these programs are more difficult to get into than college, but we work with students on application, on interviewing, and really trying to target the right program for them. Very significant opportunities for both the student, who understands what her parents talk about when we talk about working at a very high level, and also a very strong sign to those same elite universities that will be considering her application in 12th grade. The school is well funded. We are primarily, the classrooms are on the top floors of a 25-story building. We have very nice spaces both inside and outside. We're lucky to not have had a 80-story tower built in front of our windows just yet. We have a park. So we have spectacular views of the Hudson and the Statue of Liberty in the distance. Our auxiliary facilities, cafeteria, athletics, are on lower floors of the same building. So here's a snapshot of our cafeteria and some of the menu offerings that we have throughout the year. Here, the boarders would be eating throughout their program. Though we are in a boarding, sorry, Amanda, I can't hear myself very well. There seems to be an echo.
Can you hear better now if I mute myself?
Yeah, maybe. Thanks. Though we are an urban facility, we take athletics very, very seriously. So we offer close to 45 sports and extracurricular clubs each year. We devote a lot of real estate to our athletic program. So in the school, the same building as the high school, we have 2 floors devoted entirely to our indoor sports. We have indoor gyms for playing basketball, volleyball, as well as 2 swimming pools, 25-meter pools both, where we field our very competitive swim team. We make partnerships with other facilities around the neighborhood, where we field our squash teams, our tennis teams. We play golf in the Bronx, and our big team sports are played usually on the fields that the school rents from the city of New York at Governor's Island. This is about a 15 minutes by boat from downtown Manhattan. We rent these fields, kids take the ferry, and they have the added benefit of being able to play in front of the Statue of Liberty. Absolutely crazy views of the statue just across the street. So that's my presentation on Léman in a very, very, very quick nutshell. Again, we are an elite private school in the center of New York City. We are home to more than 70 nationalities. The people who send children to us come from the UN, they come from the expat community that works in the financial industry, and there's a real understanding, an institutional understanding of how important it is to integrate foreign-born children into our school community. Léman is a rigorous academic program that graduates children into top universities in the US and Europe, and we are the only boarding school in the city. Now, a few words about our residential program. Our students live at 37 Wall Street. You can see this 19th century townhouse with a residential tower on top of it. The school rents 2 entire floors of this building, where our 75 boarders live with dorm parents throughout the year. This is very much the center of downtown Manhattan. If you can see down below, the Wall Street is a pedestrian street here. We are about 70 meters away from the stock exchange, so quite literally 2 steps away. The building is anchored by the downtown locations of Tiffany, the jewelry store that is famous, I guess, across the world. Very much a luxury and central location. Students come into a lobby where we have 24-hour security. Their elevator takes them up to floors, again, where only students from Léman and dorm parents reside in apartments, sort of suite living, that look like this. This is probably an apartment for 5 to 6 people. There are 3 bedrooms, facilities, and a common space. Léman residential life is very much a 7-day program. Saturdays and Sundays, we engage with the city. We go to the theater, to a restaurant. We watch sports games. Sometimes we travel outside of town to visit colleges. So there's always something to do, obviously, in New York City, and the children are generally engaged in one sort of activity or another, both Saturday and Sunday. This is New York City, kind of the campus of our school.
So beautiful.
A brief note on a sample schedule during the day. School is roughly from 8:30 to 3:30. 3:30 to 6 is usually extracurricular, homework, prep, or free time. Dinner is usually at the Morris Cafe, the cafeteria at the high school. We return afterwards to our dorms until about 10, when the dormitory basically shuts down and everybody goes back to their rooms. The weekend schedule is a little bit more flexible. There could be a trip, a Broadway show, an activity to go out of town, a Yankees game. There's a lot more free time, which is devoted to kind of individual time the students may have. Which brings me to the security and safety of our borders. Weekend or weekday, whenever a student walks in or out of the residential life building, there is a process called check-in, check-out, the standard Swiss boarding school technique, which necessitates that a student sit down with one of the dorm parents on duty, and they're always on duty during the time that students can go out, to go have a cup of coffee in the afternoon, or to go to the museum on a Saturday and Sunday. You would be asked, Amanda, how's your tennis game? How's your physics class going? Where are you going? Or where are you coming from? Who were you with? And these check-in, check-outs kind of really necessitate all of our students to have contact with one of the dorm parents several times a day, and is really the foundation of our residential life program, the relationship between our dorm parents and students. Right. The highlights of our program is how well we integrate international students, how much institutional knowledge we have about the world and people's preferences and where they may come from. Our specialized college counseling is a jewel, which allows us to send a lot of children to very, very good universities after Léman. We offer one-on-one academic support as well as English as a second language. So here I would caution our audience that we are not a school to come to learn English. Although, most of the students, I think, in Western Europe, considering boarding schools in the US, already speak English quite fluently. The budget that a family can expect the school to stick to is $95,000 for the school year. We recognize that it's a number, but we stress that it is fixed. It's everything that a student would need for 10 months living and studying with us in New York City. So from the car that would pick her up at the airport, to medical insurance, uniforms, laundry, all the residential trips, all sports activities, to finally the car that would bring her back to the airport at the end of the year. No one's going to be calling the family for a fee to play soccer or to go to Princeton over the weekend. Our admissions checklist is very straightforward as well. We are looking at applications beginning from grade 9, so children roughly age 14 to 18. We ask to see a personal statement, a math and English teacher recommendation, usually 3 years of transcripts, so current year plus 2 previous years, and most importantly, an interview. So an interview, the way I conduct it, is usually by Zoom, unless I'm in Lisbon or somewhere else. We talk about the things that matter to the student and that matter to Léman. So I won't ask about the date of the Battle of the Hastings, but I will ask about a student's preferences, about their classes that she likes and she doesn't like, about a book she may have read, about a piece of music that she listened to and was moved by and would like to tell me about. I'm looking, generally speaking, as the school does, I think, for sophisticated international people who are interested in furthering their understanding of the world. The students that Léman graduates, and here I come to the end of my presentation, are really, without stretching it, citizens of the world. These are people who are comfortable in Lisbon, in Madrid, but also in Beijing and London and Moscow when the war ends, hopefully. Our students are truly citizens of the world with a real sophisticated understanding of the difference between different cultures and languages and societies that exist, with a firm foundation in kind of American high school education. So for the right student and for the right family, Léman is a wonderful and unique opportunity to live and to study in one of the world's most exciting, international, and cosmopolitan cities. I live in Milan, and through Yourway education, I'm always available to discuss potential steps in the admissions process, questions that a family may have. So give us a call. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Simon. It looks like a great school. Like living in New York City in high school, I can't even imagine. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.